Welcome to London, where Moises Lima starts on pole from Cosmas Tracidis and Gab Stappen. Spiker is fourth from Hachai Cilia, making her first start from Zaka Hidenko, Tam Andalay, and Star Casanova Cornwell outside the top 8 from Bastian Tan and Eddie Hart. Then it's Claire DeLune, Juan Villalobos, Nick Haymaker, and Sri Harishwar. Takayoshi Nishimoto, he's 16th from Chaos Andalay and Thomas Holtz. Ben Allen Lee is 19th from Gabriel Barton and Landro Sapaholi. Magic, Tommy, and teammate Rules round out the top 24. The ERL's birthplace, that's London for you. Moises Lima with his first pole. Can he win? All 5 lights go on. And the London eTrophy is underway, and it's a brilliant start off the line from Gab Stappen in his first start for Mana Motorsport. Moves up into second place past Cosmos Vinicius. We go on board with the Brazilian driver as he looks to try and overtake Moises Lima, the Italian, who started on pole, holds on to the race lead coming through turn number 3. Home driver Ben Allen Lee, only man to start this race on the hards. He's got a 5-second time penalty, but coming out of turn number 4, it seems to have been a relatively clean start. Cosmas dropping down the order fast, went from second on the grid to now 4th coming down the hill. As you can see, Hachai Cilia for Team Impol making her first start. Cosmas getting hit with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision seemingly with Mexico's Spiker. We go on board with the man in the number 4 car, the Greek driver with many Formula E race wins, many of those of course coming between season 1 and 8. Casanova Cornwell moves up to 8th place and now has a 5-second time penalty hanging over his head. Unfortunate for the British driver at his home event. Cosmas Vinicius going side by side with Hachai Cilia. They remain alongside each other. Can they keep it clean through the loop? They can. And that's 3rd place for the man in the number 4 car. Bastian Tan has had an off. 5-second time penalty for Bastian Tan. That's a car that has hit the wall. It's Nick Haymaker who's hit the wall. The American driver not making too many good impressions in his second season. Lap 2 of 13 from London in the ERL FG Series. Takayoshi Nishimoto once again qualifying outside of the top 10. His teammate barely scraping in. Goodhart with their new black livery, not seemingly with the pace that they want. As you can see, Nishimoto up to 2nd place. Meanwhile, further up, as attack mode is now online, this is an attack mode spot. Gab Stappen in that white and red Mana Motorsport car just has that much pace underneath him. Nora made the start in Beijing. Gab Stappen was unavailable for the first round of the championship and for the preseason test, which is why Nora was still in that manner. But now rounding Stowe Curve and into the Vale Chicane and Club Corner, Gab Stappen just being stopped in his advantage right now. Moises Lima could be on for the first ever FG Series Grand Slam as we take a look at a brand new driver to Power Motorsport. That's Tam Andalay. That is Chaos Andalay's sister, running up in 5th place. The soft tyres on that Power Motorsport number 3 car beginning to wear down quite a bit. Drago has officially resigned his seat as there goes Miss Andalay, I guess, going side by side with Hachai Cilia. 2 women drivers in the ERL FG Series fighting over 4th place. Meanwhile, further up, Cosmas Vinicius side by side with Gab Stappen, and he's the man to Gab stop him. Cosmas Vinicius to P2 here in London, as that's close to the wall for Brazil's finest in this category. Trying to fight off the Greek driver, getting attack mode. Cosmas doesn't get it. Heading down into Stowe. They're building up quite the gap to the rest of the pack, and Gab Stappen back up to 2nd place. Look at the margin between Tam Andalay and Spiker. It's unimaginable. As you can see, Eddie Hart and Casanova Cornwell fighting over 7th place. Cornwell moving up into that 7th position. I think Cosmas Vinicius comes into the pits with Eddie Hart and race leader Moises Lima. So the hunt for the Grand Slam ends here. Also into the pits, Hachai Cilia and Edward Hart, I think I already mentioned him. A lot of drivers coming in fact. I was going to say that was both good Harts coming in, but no, it's just Takayoshi. You can see him on the hard compound tyres. And Kondo Racing's Vastian Tan serving that 5-second time penalty and will re-emerge in this race at the very back of the pack. So Tam Anderley, on her first start, now leads the pack from Spiker and Casanova Cornwell. Zakhar Hedenko, rookie driver as well, made an amazing debut start by winning last time out in the Beijing eTrophy. And it's now closing up to the back of Casanova Cornwell, on board with Juan Villalobos, won last season's feature race in Amsterdam. Loses 5th position to Star, who finally performing like a shooting star, moving up into 5th place. Those medium compound tyres are not looking too good right now. Cap Stappen with the fastest second sector of anyone at 33.5. It's at this point in our broadcast that I do have to remind you to subscribe. Our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the Daytona 500 as Ben Allen Lee gets hit with a 10-second time penalty as he comes into the pits. And yes, that is 1,000 subscribers by the end of the week. I know you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you guys. 8 laps to go from London. Vastian Tan with a track limits warning at the very back of the pack, and he's not even close to the real field yet. Million Brulez has enough. There's a full course caution. Hedenko out with him. And we lost them. We couldn't catch that. And that is unbelievable. Zakhar Hedenko. Kondo Racing shooting star is out. Million Brulez, who started this race at the very back of the pack, having wrecked on his first lap in qualifying, is also out. Receiving that, it seemed as if Hedenko was slow and Brulez just ran into him, taking both of them out. We are back under the green flags here in London. No one was near the pits, so no benefits to be gained. Labantin and Magic trying to work some real magic with their tyres right now. 8% for Gabrielle, and for Magic, also 8. I think they should be able to make it to the end of the lap. Claire DeLune and Spiker doing some brilliant stuff with their mediums to get them to this point in the race. I expect them to go even further as Moises Lima trying to move up to 3rd position. We go on board with the Italian driver who could win his first race today. Moves up into 3rd position with one of the most amazing switchback attempts I've ever seen. And that's the race lead for him as well. Edward Hart with a 5-second time penalty for track limits. Unfortunate for the man on the number 20 car. Lap 6 of 13 here in London. With 7 to go. Ben Allen Lee with a track limits warning. We go on board with the Scottish driver in the number 20. And Juan Villalobos with a 5-second time penalty for causing collisions. Look at Casanova Cornwell in 13th place on the back of Leandro Zacaholi, teammate of the race leader. And who's that going side by side? That's Manor Motorsports' Juan Villalobos side by side with Takayoshi Nishimoto fighting over 8th position on the back of Cosmas Felices. And I think it's at this point where we have to notice something very important. It's this man, not Tam Anderley, who, yes, she's having a fantastic debut in the ERL. But that's not what I want to point out. Sri Harishwar up in 6th place for Red Bull. That is not like we've seen from him. We often think of him as not being able to score any points until the final round of last season. But this is a lot more of what we expected from the Indian driver and from Red Bull as a whole. Yes, his teammate at the very back of the pack as Tam Anderley gets her first 5-second time penalty. Star getting a time penalty as well. Lima and Hachai Cilia both into the pits, and it's stuff's going on for Envision Racing's number 2 car. Theoretically, could they make it to the end at this point? No, they have another stop that they must make. These tyres can't do more than 5. So coming out of the pits for Moises in 18th position. This race is going to have quite a strategic element so keep an eye on that. Tam Anderley in that number 3 car, trying to close up to Gab Stappen. And I'm sorry if I'm missing out on some pieces of action. That's what the timing tower is there for. It's just, we can only really focus on so many storylines at a time. I can't actually work in a split screen mechanic, at least in the regular races. So Tam Anderley on the back of Gab Stappen. Rear wing opening up, that's how you know she's in attack mode. She's gaining, she's gaining, she's gaining, but she's not close enough. Likely because she's not using any attack charge. So does she want to try and make the lunge into Vale? She will not. She bails out of the move. As you can see, one of the good hearts going side by side. It's Nishimoto versus Cornwell through the Vale chicane, and it's Cornwell who comes out on top. Nishimoto likely to come in, and does come in. Moises Lima with a 5-second time penalty. That's for track limits coming out of Club Corner. 5 laps to go. And at this point, if you're coming in for the mediums or hards, that is your final stop. You can make it to the end. Bastien Tan at the very back of the pack with a 5-second time penalty for track limits. On board, we go with one for Lobos, as Sri Harishwar is now your race leader. And we've got a caution. It's Moises Lima off the track. For Moises Lima, it's game over for the man who started this race from pole. With 5 laps to go, Envision Racing's man is out. My question is, how on earth has that happened? In any case, we are about to go green again on board with Bastien Tan. And we are now back under green flag conditions. And I don't think Juan Villalobos got the jump on Star that he would have needed to take the position away from him. Junior Motorsports car in front of him, that is the number 9 Junior Motorsport car, not the number 10. Definitely having a very good race. I think Star always been quite the capable pair of hands to bring the car home. Gab Stappen getting a 5-second time penalty in amongst the pack. And look at this, that's 3 wide up ahead. Everyone trying to hold it 2 wide, in fact, going down into Stowe Corner. Looking at Magic there, moving in front of Hachai Cilia. Can he get past Leandro Zacaholi? Well, we're not going to be able to see that because someone else has gone off. That's Claire de Luna has been given a 5-second time penalty, and Zacaholi is off. Tommy getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision off the track there. That is the Hong Kong number 11 for Revolution Racing. Gets it back onto the road. And a lot of drivers now coming in. We're back under the green flags, but we've got 4 laps to go. Yellow's in the opener. Who is that for? Can't even catch any of these anymore. Are we green yet, guys? Are we? Because, oh no! Chaos Andale getting hit with a 5-second time penalty, so it's Takayoshi Nishimoto going off the track and now has a broken front wing. Well out of shape is Tommy, almost running into the back of Zacaholi. And in fact, no, he did run into the back of him as they make their way through that very long corner. Meanwhile, up front, this is what I mean by you can never tell what's going on. It's Villalobos versus Spiker, and it's Juan Villalobos to the lead of this race, but he's got a 5-second time penalty. So he's got a lot of work to do, but he's going to come into the pits at the end of this lap, it seems. Yes, box for the top 2. Got some dark clouds in London, although when don't we? I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys went on to the Inters for their final stint. Let's see what are the ties going on. As Gab Stappen getting a track limits warning, those were mediums for Spiker as we begin lap 10 of 13. Everyone flying off the track now. On board with Leandro Zacaholi in the number 1 Envision Racing car. Nothing to give there. We've got yellows in Sector 1. And it seems to be... Oh my goodness! That's the intent. Cars Maspedices, Thomas Holt, surely all of these drivers out of the race on lap 10. They try to go 3 wide. They tried to go 3 wide. Cars Maspedices went airborne and he has been taken to the on-track hospital might be transferred to Great Ormond Street Hospital. And we're back under green flags here in London. Front puncture for Claire DeLune, as he's now down into the pits. Sri Harishwar going side by side with Magic. This could be for the Indian driver's first race win. He's already led laps today, and he'll lead some more. Sri Harishwar took the lead coming out of Chapel Curve. Doesn't need any sort of attack mode to help him out. This has been an absolute shocker of a race weekend. On board we go with Hachai Cilia currently in the top 3. Can she take second place or potentially even close up to Harishwar? Probably not, because into the pits they come. Juan Villalobos further back with a 5-second time penalty. Lap 11 of 13. Star up in third position, holding off both Gab Stappen and Casanova Cornwell, who's had an amazing fight back drive, makes the lunge, coming through turn 3. Can he hold on there side by side? It's not enough for the British driver to take a podium away from his countrymen. They go side by side. Attack mode online. Casanova Cornwell up into third position. That's not half bad from the Goodhart Racing man. Goodhart, the defending Constructors champions. Not the reigning champions, they are the reigning vice champions. Claire DeLune with a second track limits warning. As we can take a look then. Star in the number 9 car, potentially dropping behind Spiker there. They're going side by side. 5-second time penalty for Spiker, by the way, was handed out earlier in this race. They remain 2 by 2, both of them with attack mode. They're chasing after Casanova Cornwell. Looks like Spike has been pushed to the inside more and makes the most of that. Up into 4th position for the Mexican driver. Coming through Vale, trying to close up as Cornwell gets a 5-second time penalty for track limits. We're on to the penultimate lap of this race. Power Motorsport at home have a man, or rather a woman, in her first start up in the top 3, but Spiker moves up into 2nd position instead. The tyres aren't looking too good for Miss Andalay, as Leandro Sakaholi getting hit with a 5-second time penalty. A lot of damage to Spiker's car as well. 18% for Tam Andalay. Tommy getting a second track limits warning. On board with Casanova Cornwell, trying to close up and overtake his fellow rookie driver. And I am fearing for the guys who, on your timing tower, say 4 laps on a set of softs. That's Gab Stappen and Tam Andalay. That's only 2 drivers, but we've seen already how 1 driver can cause carnage in a race. Claire DeLune has just punched in the fastest lap of this race at the very back of the pack. Sri Harishwar 4 seconds in front of the pack, running an absolutely fantastic, beautiful race. Tam Andalay has run a fantastic race. Something tells me that something, I don't know what will undo it, but something might. Sri Harishwar might have just been handed a 5-second time penalty, but 4 seconds in front of the pack, not going to be too much of a worry, as a corner cut warning for Tam Andalay as we begin the final lap of this race. Both soft tyres almost giving way. She's giving it everything she has. Magic with a 5-second time penalty, so is the same for Cilia. Coming out of turn number 2 into 3 there. 0% for Tam Andalay. The tyres blowing up before she even makes the Wellington Straight. And the hunt for the podium is over. For Star, Star's the one. He's the one who has the best opportunity of winning this race. As for Andalay, that really is just game over. Gab Stappen also facing similar tyre problems, we hear. There is Gab Stappen's car, by the way, as they make their way through the rest of the track. And for Sri Harishwar, as Tommy's heading off, ooh, hard into the wall. And it's the same further up, is it? Could be. I don't know. Seems like it's the same thing for the entire pack. It's going to be a first race win for Red Bull Racing in the ERL, in the FG Series. And for the ERL, it's a first Indian race winner. Sri Harishwar comes across the line and will be the first man from India to win this season. Not in the ERL's history, because that was already Drago. Sorry for bogging it down a little bit. You can see the rest of the drivers coming to the line as there is Tam Andalay. Hit by 2 cars at the same time. Oh no! Oh! Oh God! Cautions come out. Oh. 1 car going airborne is enough. We didn't need 2. We didn't need 2. Just look at the state of that manor and of that Power Motorsport car. 16th and 17th, but the race has a much bigger story. Well, after punctures caused carnage in the final stages of today's race, Sri Harishwar punches in his first points of the season with victory in the London eTrophy. Star coming home with a fantastic 2nd place at home, and Spiker for 2311 Racing finishes in a very respectable 3rd place on the podium. As for the rest of your finishes, after penalties were applied, Gabriella Barton 4th from Nick Haymaker, who at the early stages of this race was absolutely nowhere. Great to see him pick up 10 points for 5th place today. Casanova Cornwell 6th from one for Lobos and Magic. Hachai Sulia on debut gets 2 points for 9th place, and Ben Allen Lee, the last of your point scorers, finished 10th. Outside of the points, you've got the 2 Trackhouse drivers, Chaos Andalay and Eddie Hart. Leandro Zakaholi 13th from Takeyoshi Nishimoto and Claire DeLune. Tam Andalay 16th from Gab Stafford, with the non-finishers being Tommy, Cosmas Medisa, Sebastian Tan, Thomas Holtz, Moises Lima, Million Brulers, and Zakar Hedenko. That's 7 non-finishers. Well, there's a new name at the top of the points. Spiker on 33 points leads away from Gabriella Barton and Zakar Hedenko, who's tied on points with Sri Harishwar. Nick Haymaker is 5th from Star in 1 for the Lobos. Thomas Holtz is 8th from Sebastian Tan, points with Casanova Cornwell. Magic, who is 11th rather in the 7th car from Claire Balloon and Hachai Cilia. Then it's Ben Allen Lee and Million Brulers with Eddie Hart, Chaos Andalay, Gab Stafford, Tani, Takeyoshi Nishimoto, Cosmas Mercedes, Tam Andalay, Moises Lima and Leandro Zakaholi yet to score. In the constructors standings, heading into the 3rd round of the championship, Red Bull Racing lead the points from 2311 and Kondo Racing. Chip Ganassi Racing are 4th from Junior Motorsports, and Manor Motorsport. Team Import are 7th from Goodhart Racing and Revolution Racing. Then it's Envision Racing, Power Motorsport and Trackhouse Racing, with the last 3 of those names yet to score any points. Now that is a trademark ERL race for you. Expect to see a lot more of that as our seasons progress. Next up will be the Champ Car Trophy of London. So stick around here on Sparkplug Motorsport, because we will see you guys next time then when the Electric Racing League returns.